Hello students, so today we are going to start a new chapter of our geography book, and the name of the chapter is Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. This is the fifth chapter of your geography book. Okay, earlier I have started the fourth chapter, that is climate, but I am stopping that because this chapter, that means the chapter number 4, has been deleted from your syllabus as per the new guidelines of the CBSE. Fine. So instead of going through that chapter, I am just moving further so that I can cover your maximum part of the syllabus. So let's get started with the things, that means talking about the new chapter. So the name of the chapter is Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. So basically this chapter will talk about the, you can say, natural vegetation and wildlife that we found in India. You know that India is a land of diverse culture, diverse tradition, diverse food, language, vegetation, wildlife, everything that we are having. There's a difference between each and everything. Okay, so when it comes to, you can say, natural vegetation and wildlife, also we found you can say a huge difference from north to south and from west to east. Okay, and even in the middle part of the India also, so that we are going to see that what kind of variation do we found in natural vegetation and wildlife. Okay, so we are having a detail, you can say, the things about the varieties of plant that we found in India. Okay, and also the wildlife also. But right in this video, what I am going to do, I am going to give you a brief introduction about the chapter, that what the chapter is all about and what are the conditions for development of natural vegetation and wildlife. Fine. So let's get started with the things. So basically, India, okay, we are having about, you can say different types of bioforms available throughout the country, because some, basically we found, see, apple trees generally we found in Jammu Kashmir. Okay, then here in Bihar we found you can say that lychee. Okay, so this type of cultivation cannot be done in the colder region. Fine. And that means you can say agriculture of apple cannot be done in this, you can say, quite hotter region. So there's a huge difference, that why there's a difference that we are going to see. Fine. So let's talk about, so basically when we talk about from Indian perspective, so our country India is one of the, you can say, 12 mega biodiversity country in the world, and it has, you can say, around, we are having 47,000 plant species, and which occupies, you can say, 10th in the world. That means the place that occupies in terms of plant is about, you can say, 10th in the world and 4th in the Asia in terms of plant diversity. Okay, and we are having about 15,000 flowering plant, which occupies almost 6% of the, you can say, world flowering plant. Okay, almost 6%. Now we are having some non-flowering plant also, like moss, algae, then fungi. There are so many. Okay, and when we talk about, you can say, species of animal, we are having about 90,000 species, okay, of animal, and basically this we found in, you can say, fresh water and marine water also. Okay, including fish and all. Fine. That means we are having variety of species that we found in you can say in India. Fine. Now basically the term is that, what do you mean by natural vegetation? The next question that must come in your mind, that what do you mean by natural vegetation? So basically natural vegetation refers to a plant community, okay, which has grown naturally without, you can say, human aid, and has been left undistributed by the human for a long time. That means, see, it means that basically when we found it like jungles and all, we have not planted that jungles. It is automatically, you can say, developed. Okay, automatically, and our interference was not there at all. We have not done anything. It has grown naturally, you can say, without human aid, and it is, you can say, undistributed. That means at different place we found different types of vegetation. Fine. We are having a word in our book that is known as the virgin vegetation. Now what do you mean by virgin vegetation? So the virgin vegetation means it means that which is purely Indian, okay, and so the thing which is purely Indian, that means which is originated in India and it is totally Indian, and that are known as, you can say, endemic or indigenous species, and that means which we are having from our own country, okay, we call it as, you can say, endemic or indigenous. Fine. And those which have come from outside, okay, in India we termed it as a exotic plants. Fine. So we are having you can say indigenous species, and you can say exotic plants also. So here the meaning of, you can say, the virgin vegetation means which are purely Indian, and they are known as endemic or, you can say, indigenous species. But those who have come from, you can say, outside India, they are termed as, you can say, exotic plants. Fine. Now the thing is that we are having two terms. In this chapter we will come to know about flora and fauna. That now what do you mean by flora and what do you mean by fauna? So basically flora means, you can say, flowering plant, okay. When we talk about, so when we are talking about flora means we are talking about the, you can say, plant kingdom, okay. And we are when I am going to talk about fauna means I am talking about the you can say the huge diversity of animal kingdom. So we are having flora and fauna. Fine. So that flora and fauna, that means the diversity that we found in flora and fauna, that we are going to study in this chapter in details, like at you can say tropical at Himalayan region, what kind of flora and fauna do we found. So when we come to middle India, what type of flora and fauna do we found. Then when we are talking about the southern India, then what type of flora and fauna do we found, okay. So these things that we are going to study in detail in upcoming videos. Fine. Now let's talk about the factors which are responsible for the, you can say, natural vegetation and wildlife. So this I am going to divide into two categories. Fine. The first one is the relief feature and the second one is the climate. Fine. So under relief feature, under relief we are having land and soil, and if I am going to talk about climate, we are having temperature, okay. Then we are having precipitation. Under climate we are having temperature, okay, and apart from that we are having, you can say, precipitation, and one more thing is that sunlight. So we are going to see that how these factors are really going to affect the distribution of flora and fauna over any country, in any country. Fine. Just a minute. Okay, now so let's talk about the relief feature that we are having. Under relief feature we are having land and soil. So you know, basically what happened, the thing is that for the development of, you can say, flora, okay, there are different types of land required, okay. See, basically land, when we talk about land, we are having mount, you can say, hilly area type of land, then we are having flat land, then we are having plateau type of area. So then we are having grassland also, okay. Then we are having woodland also. That means different land area, you can say, attract different types of, you can say, flowers, as well as that, you can say, the natural vegetation and wildlife also. Fine. Like the nature of land influences the type of vegetation. Like fertile level, you can say fertile, that means the fertile ground is generally devoted to agriculture, that we use in doing agriculture, okay. Fine. Like the next thing is that the undiluting and the rough terrains area, whereas you can say grassland and woodlands develop and give shelter to the varieties of, you can say, wildlife. So basically the thing is that the most fertile area is used for doing cultivation, and according to that less fertile area is used for, you can say, automatically that is being used for, you can say, that is used for providing shelter to the animals and different for the development of flora and fauna. Fine. excuse me. Now talking about, you can say, soil. So we know that different plant requires different type of soil. Fine. So basically, see, um, as I told you that we are having a diverse country in which we are having diversity in everything. Fine. So even the distribution of soil is not even in India. Okay, we are having some areas fully covered with alluvial soil, some areas having red soil, some areas having black soil, like that. Some areas having mountainous, you can say mountain type of soil. That means different types of soil. So so basically what happened, different types of soil provide base to the different types of, you can say, vegetation. Fine. This we already know that. Like sandy soil, basically sandy soil use, in sandy soil what we found, like cactus. Basically cactus develop in sandy type of soil. Now when we are talking about, you can say, wet and marshy type of soil, so in that what we found that mangroves, basically mangroves develop in that type soil. Okay. Now when we talk about that hilly soil, okay, so basically what we found that a conical type of, like this type of tree we found in conical type of, okay, this type of vegetation we found in that hilly area. Fine. So these things vary according to the relief feature. So we are having, in under relief we are having land and soil. Fine. Now talking about the climate, so climate also, you can say, plays an impact on the development of flora and fauna over a period, as well as in any area. Fine. Like under climate we are having temperature, then we are having sunlight, and then we are having precipitation. See, from the easiest thing I would like to tell you, like precipitation. So basically talking about precipitation, like that means rainfall. Okay, see how rainfall affect the development of flora and fauna. Like I hope you have heard about that in Meghalaya we receive maximum rainfall, and we are having rich variety of flora and fauna over there. Why? Because of the that green vegetation, because of the rainfall, you know. Because of rainfall, what happened, it provides a base for the development of different kinds of plant. Fine. And because of that we are having you can say wide variety of plants, as well as you can say animal species. Okay. And because of dense vegetation, definitely we will if the area is you can say thickly populated, or thickly you can say populated with the vegetation, okay, then definitely that area is going to develop into fully natural fully you can say area covered under the trees and flora and fauna. That means I'm talking about the state, you can say Meghalaya. Okay. And a place is Mawsynram, where we receive maximum rainfall, and that area is densely covered with natural vegetation. Okay. Okay. And when we talk about like you can say least covered, okay, and that least covered with the natural vegetation, that we found in Rajasthan, because Rajasthan receives the, you can say, least rainfall as compared to the throughout the country. So we don't have, you know, varieties of, you can say, flora and fauna over there. We are having only thorny, or you can say cactus type of plant that that are grown over there. Okay. And basically in India we are having you can say monsoon from the southwest, you can say, okay, southwest winds winds that brought monsoon in India is southwest type of wind. Okay, that means from June to September. And we also receive some you can say rainfall during the winter season, due to the, you can say, retreating of northwest monsoon. Fine. So precipitation really plays an important role in the development of, you can say, natural vegetation and wildlife. Fine. Now talking about, you can say, sunlight. Okay, how sunlight is going to play an important role in the development of, you can say, natural vegetation and wildlife. See, basically what happened, you know, there are certain plants, there are so many plants basically, if I can say, they are totally dependent on, you can say, sunlight. So what happened, it depends upon the latitude and the altitude, okay, of any place. What happens, so see, basically, like if I'm going to talk about like the cold area in India, like Himalaya, that receives you can say less sunlight, so we are having some you can say polar kind of, not exactly polar, but polar region kind of vegetation that we are having. Okay, and that type of you can say animals with having thick fur on their body we found there. Fine. But when we talk about in the lower part of India, we are having flora and fauna according to the temperature. Okay, so really that sunlight plays an important role, okay, in the development of flora and fauna, because it depends that what kind of, if some area receives you can say less sunlight, so definitely the area will become you can say cooler, and definitely that kind of vegetation we are going to found in that particular region. Now okay, like same now like in Russia and all, basically that is that area you can say is totally mostly you can say receive, that area is the climate of that country is you can say polar kind of climate, that means very too cold. So basically what kind of vegetation do we found in that country, like you can say conical type of tree do we found, because due to heavy snowfall, and same according to that we are having different you can say animals and all. Fine. Now talking about the temperature, so basically temperature, you know, in different temperature, like as I told you that I cannot cultivate apple in Bihar because the temperature doesn't suits. Okay, and I cannot you can say do the cultivation of that lychee in Himachal Pradesh or Himalaya, just because of the temperature that we found over there. So you know because of the variation in temperature, you know the you can say the temperature, the area, okay, change from tropical to subtropical temperature area, and from alpine from temperate to alpine type of vegetation. That means you can say that due to the variation in temperature, okay, the vegetation and the wildlife that we found is totally different. That means what we are finding here, that means you know that polar animals, okay, like polar bear and all, that animal is not going to survive in this type of climate, because that is not you can say his body is not according to this climatic condition. He you can say transformed himself according to that area. So like that. Fine. So temperature also plays an important role in the you can say in the development of flora and fauna. Now let's talk about that how flora and fauna are really important for the development of you can say any area. So basically you know forests are, as we know that forests are renewable resources, and it plays an important role, and it helps in the you can say it improves the quality of environment. Okay, it modify the climate, control soil erosion. Okay, so all major you can say things, and you can say control climate, soil erosion, then it regulate the you can say stream flow, then support you can say industries, okay, to provide livelihood to you can say many people and communities. Fine. And it also help in it also plays an important role in bringing rainfall, and you can say just because of plants and you can say flora and fauna, basically talking about the plants, you know the dead remains of plant help us to convert the soil into the fertile one. Fine. And we found different types of you can say wildlife, you can, from microorganism to the big one, okay, in that type of area. So basically these things are that we are going to study in this chapter. Okay, how the things like flora and fauna differ from one place to another. What type of flora and fauna do we found in the you can say mangrove type of region, do we found in the evergreen type of area, and do we found in the you can say alpine type of you can say climatic condition. Okay, alpine, basically alpine is a vegetation, but from in which place do we found it, that we are going to study in upcoming videos. Fine. So I hope up to here it is clear to you all. Okay, and this is quite you know very interesting chapter. I hope you will enjoy while reading this. Okay, so please go through the page number 42 and 43 of your geography book, line by line you can go through it, and also I hope everything is clear to you. Thank you so much.